Social comparison theory. Have you ever found yourself comparing your abilities, achievements, or qualities to those of others? How does this process of comparison influence your self-perception, self-esteem, and overall well-being? The intriguing concept of social comparison theory aims to answer these questions by exploring how individuals engage in social comparisons to evaluate themselves and their social standing. Developed by social psychologist Leon Festinger, this theory delves into the mechanisms by which individuals assess themselves in relation to others and how these comparisons shape their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Let's delve into the key components of social comparison theory, examine its applications in various contexts, and provide compelling examples that illuminate its practical implications. At the core of social comparison theory lies the notion that individuals have an innate drive to evaluate themselves and their abilities by comparing themselves to others. According to the theory, individuals engage in two types of social comparisons: upward comparison and downward comparison. Upward comparison involves comparing oneself to others who are perceived as superior in a particular domain, such as intelligence, attractiveness, or success. Downward comparison, on the other hand, entails comparing oneself to others who are perceived as inferior in the same domain. One important function of social comparisons is self-evaluation. Individuals use social comparisons as a yardstick to assess their own abilities, qualities, and achievements. By comparing themselves to others, individuals gain information about their own strengths and weaknesses and form judgments about their relative position in a given domain. These self-evaluations can have significant implications for self-esteem and self-perception. For example, imagine a student comparing their academic performance to that of their classmates. If they consistently compare themselves to high-achieving classmates and perceive themselves as falling short, they may experience a decrease in self-esteem and view themselves as academically inadequate. Conversely, if the same student compares themselves to classmates who struggle academically, they may experience an increase in self-esteem and perceive themselves as more competent in comparison. Social comparison theory also highlights the role of affiliation and social identity in social comparisons. Individuals tend to compare themselves to others who are similar to them in relevant aspects, such as age, gender, or background. This tendency to compare oneself to similar others is driven by the need for affiliation and a desire for accurate self-evaluations within one's social group. For instance, consider a professional setting where employees compare their job performance to that of their colleagues. They may be more likely to engage in social comparisons with colleagues who have similar job positions, responsibilities, or years of experience. By comparing themselves to similar others, individuals gain a more accurate sense of their standing within the professional group and may derive motivation or identify areas for improvement based on these comparisons. Another important aspect of social comparison theory is the impact of the direction and outcomes of social comparisons on individuals' emotions and behaviors. Upward comparisons can lead to feelings of envy, inadequacy, and decreased self-esteem, especially when individuals perceive themselves as inferior to the comparison target. On the other hand, downward comparisons can evoke feelings of satisfaction, self-enhancement, and increased self-esteem as individuals perceive themselves as better off than the comparison target. For example, consider individuals using social media platforms and comparing their own lives to the carefully curated and idealized lives of others. If individuals consistently make upward comparisons to others' glamorous vacations, achievements, or physical appearance, they may experience feelings of inadequacy, low self-esteem, and even psychological distress. Conversely, if individuals engage in downward comparisons, focusing on the less glamorous aspects of others' lives or their own achievements and positive attributes, they may experience an increase in self-esteem and subjective well-being. Moreover, social comparison theory acknowledges that the impact of social comparisons can vary depending on the relevance and salience of the domain being compared. Individuals are more likely to engage in social comparisons and experience the effects of these comparisons when the domain is personally important to them and when there are clear standards or benchmarks for comparison. For instance, consider a professional athlete comparing their performance to that of their teammates. The athlete is likely to experience the effects of social comparisons more intensely in the domain of sports, as it is personally relevant and there are objective performance measures and standards for comparison. In contrast, the same athlete may not engage in social comparisons or experience significant emotional reactions when comparing their cooking skills to their teammates, as cooking may be less personally important in their self-concept. In conclusion, social comparison theory provides valuable insights into how individuals engage in social comparisons to evaluate themselves and their social standing. By comparing themselves to others, individuals gain information about their abilities, form judgments about their self-worth, and experience emotions based on the direction and outcomes of these comparisons. The theory highlights the influence of affiliation, social identity, and the relevance of the domain being compared in shaping social comparisons. By understanding the mechanisms and implications of social comparison theory, individuals can develop a greater awareness of the impact of social comparisons on their self-perception, self-esteem, and overall well-being.